Hi, Andy XL, back with another NFXL podcast. This is the second of my previews of the championship games this weekend, and this is the NFC Championship game preview. So the Seahawks and the Rams meet in Seattle for the head-to-head tiebreaker this season, and also for the NFC Championship and a shot at winning Super Bowl 60. Seattle hold bragging rights and home field advantage as NFC West champions, but who will win this game and what will be the deciding factors in finding a winner? The first two games were really close. The Rams winning by just 2 points in week 11 before the Seahawks pulled off a remarkable fourth quarter and overtime comeback with three touchdowns and two-point conversions in week 16. Across the two games, there were significant player stats that are worth bearing in mind for this game. But let's look at the matchups and who has the edge in what areas. So the Seahawks pass offense versus the Rams pass defense. The 12th ranked Seahawks pass offense meets the 19th ranked Rams pass defense. But that is not the whole story here. The Seahawks and Sam Darnold are towards the worst teams in the league in terms of throwing picks, 14 this season, and incredibly, six of those 14 came in the two games against the Rams. And the Rams ranked sixth in the league for getting picks. So Darnold certainly needs to improve on those previous games if the Seahawks are to prevail here. Meaning the O-line needs to keep the Rams pass rush from getting pressures on him. The Seahawks O-line has allowed just 27 sacks of Darnold this season, and the Rams have 47 sacks, including 4 across the two regular season meetings with Seattle. Jackson Smith and Jigba had 201 receiving yards and a touchdown across those two games, whilst A.J. Barner also enjoyed himself against the Rams with 119 yards and a touchdown in those games. With the Rams being the 11th best team for opposing wide receivers to face, 17th best for tight ends, and also allowing the fifth most yardage to receiving backs, Darnold and Smith and Jigba look likely to put up good yardage numbers again in this game, whilst Kenneth Walker may also find he's getting his share of receiving yards too. And, AJ Barner and Elijah Arroyo, who's supposed to be back for this game at tight end, they might chip in too. But that O-line has to protect Darnold well, and he has to avoid multiple picks in this game too. If he does that and Jackson Smith and Jigba has 100 yards and a score, the Seahawks will not need too much from their other receivers to win this one. What about the Seahawks run offense against the Rams run defense? Ranking wise, this is the Seahawks 9th ranked run offense against the Rams 6th ranked run defense. But the big issues for the Seahawks here is that they do not have the junior member of their running back duo, Zach Charbonnet. And when I say junior, that's probably not entirely the case. So Zach Charbonnet is out for this game, meaning Kenneth Walker will have to carry a much heavier load here. Yardage-wise, Walker has had 60% of the duo's output this season, but Charbonnet has had 12 rushing TDs compared to Walker's 5. So can Walker turn yardage into 6-pointers in this is going to be a key question here. Walker did have 2 of the Seahawks' 3 rushing touchdowns in the team's regular season meetings, so maybe he can, but he will need to. Those 3 rushing TDs the Rams gave up to the Seahawks were half of what they gave up in the whole season, so they will hope to limit Seattle to no more than 1 rushing touchdown in this game. And the Seahawks will need to run the ball well in this game to ensure they do not have to put too much pressure on Darnold and the passing game. Walker and Charbonnet shared 27 carries in week 11 and 20 in week 16 against the Rams. So Walker may well need 20 plus totes in this game to keep the offensive balance in place. He averaged 4.6 yards per carry this season. So if he can run for more than 20 times for 100 yards and a score, that might be what the Seahawks need from him. So on to the Rams offense, their pass offense versus the Seahawks pass defense. Matt Stafford in his number 1 pass offense against the Seahawks 7th ranked pass defense will surely be a pivotal battle in this game. If the two games in the regular season, Stafford actually only passed for 130 yards and a pair of touchdowns in the game the Rams won, as 4 defensive picks of Darnold gave him little to do to get the win. In the game they somehow lost in week 16, it passed for an incredible 457 yards and 3 touchdowns. And one notable stat is that the Seahawks did not record a single sack of Stafford in either game, which indicates Stafford may have little trouble putting up big numbers if required to do so in this game, and especially if the Seahawks pass rush does not get him under pressure. He was sacked just 23 times in the regular season, whilst the Seahawks recorded 47 sacks in the 15 games that were not against the Rams. But as I say, they didn't get a single one in the 2 games against the Rams. That needs to change. Puka Nacua had a huge game in the Week 16 meeting when Devontae Adams missed the game. Nacua had 225 yards and a pair of touchdowns, whilst he had 93 yards without a score in the other game. But Adams had just 1 catch from 8 targets in that game. So Nacua is clearly the wide receiver they need to limit in this game. For the season, the Seahawks were the 4th toughest matchup for wide receivers and gave up the 2nd lowest amount of yardage to him. So keep Nacua under 100 yards and keep him and Adams out of the end zone. And Stafford will need to find another way to overcome the Seahawks. His tight ends may give him that. They combined for 125 yards and a pair of touchdowns across the 2 regular season games. And the Seahawks were the 14th best matchup for tight ends to face this season and gave up the 6th highest yardage to them too. And the same applies yardage-wise to receiving backs, so Kyron Williams could help out there too. The Rams would love to see 100 yards and a score from Nacua, whilst Adams has been their touchdown leader this season. So finding him and or their tight ends in the end zone may be required for the Rams to win this game. The Rams' run offense versus the Seahawks' run defense. 10th ranked offense versus 3rd ranked run defense. So any joy here will represent a win for the Rams. And the Kyron Williams / Blake Corum tandem produced a combined 247 yards and 2 touchdowns in the 2 regular season games, with a score in each of those games on the ground. They had only 20 carries between them in the first game that their defense dominated, but had 37 carries between them as they controlled the second game until the final 8th of the game. But they barely averaged 3 yards a carry in that game. If they can provide 30 plus carries in this game for over 100 yards, and either of them gets into the end zone on the ground, that may be the most the Rams can hope for against this tough Seahawks run defense. Special teams then. The Rams have attempted 65 extra points in just 28 field goals, a 2.3 extra point to field goal ratio, showing how potent this offense has been in terms of touchdown production, But if they do need field goals, Harrison Mevis has been really good for them since he took over from Josh Carty. The so-called thicker kicker has made 12 of 13 field goals in the regular season and is perfect in the postseason so far, 10 of 10 kicking, including 4 field goals. The Seahawks have attempted 48 field goals and 48 extra points, so are far more dependent on kicking field goals than the Rams. Jason Myers has made 41 of 48 field goals, 5 of his 7 misses coming from beyond 40 yards. So if the Rams can keep the Seahawks out the red zone, Myers has a 1 in 5 chance of actually missing a kick. On that basis, the Rams have the edge when it comes down to needing to kick field goals. Kick returner Xavier Smith has done a decent enough job as the kick returner for the Rams, but Rashid Shaheed has been outstanding in this role for the Seahawks since he joined them. He had a punt return for a touchdown against the Rams to spark that late comeback win in Week 16 and returned the opening kickoff for a score against the 49ers last week. The Rams may be wise not to give him opportunities to do it again in this game. So kick it away from him or even out of bounds, whatever they have to do, kick it through the end zone, try and keep it out of his hands on returns. And that means rookie punter Ethan Evans will need to have a really good game for the Rams. The Seahawks will not be too worried on this score with all-pro Michael Dixon punting for them. Special team issues have haunted the Rams this season and the punting has to go well here, as if Evans and the coverage unit did not do their jobs, Shaheed can turn this game on its head as he did in Week 16. So what are the keys for each team to win this game? The Seahawks need Sam Darnold not to throw multiple picks, the O-line to keep the Rams' pass rush in check, Jackson Smith and Jigba to have 100 yards receiving and a score, Kenneth Walker to have 20-plus carries for 100 yards and a score, to run a balanced offense using the pass and the run throughout the game, get at least one big kick return from Rashid Shaheed, and Jason Myers not to miss from within 50 yards. The Rams, they need a clean game from Matt Stafford, Puka Nacua to go over 100 yards and score a touchdown, Devontae Adams and the tight ends to get at least one touchdown. Williams and Coram, the running backs, to have at least 30 carries for at least 100 yards and a touchdown between them. The pass rush to get Sam Darnold under plenty of pressure. Harrison Mevis to stay perfect kicking. And the special teams not to screw it up, especially the punter and the punt coverage team. So, in summary, if the Rams' regular season powerhouse offense shows up here, then they should win this game. The defense has it in them to force Darnold into errors too. In truth, the defence won their first game, and they had almost total control in the second game until that Shaheed punt return sparked one of the more unlikely comebacks you are likely to see outside of any Chicago Bears game. I think that the Rams' offense will be good enough to build a lead here, and the pass rush can force errors from Darnold too. Then they just need to be able to run the ball adequately and not let the Seahawks back into it via special teams. Now, the Rams haven't really been firing completely in recent weeks, but I've seen the Rams as the best team in the league for a long time now, and I'm not going to change my tune this late. The Rams win this head-to-head and head to Santa Clara, and they will be the favourites there to win the Lombardi Trophy. So I'm going to take the Rams to win this one by 27 points to 23. So that will set up, in my opinion, a Rams-Patriots Super Bowl. So that will be, but whoever gets there, it's going to be a great game this year. It's been so unpredictable. It's been a fantastic postseason. So enjoy this weekend's two games, and I'll see you soon.